Hi Flosstube, I am Tamara. I am Petite Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross stitch. If you are new here, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. I hope you will stick around for a little bit, see if there's anything here that you enjoy, um, that you like, and if you do, hit the subscribe button. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I have had a little uptick in subscribers in the last couple of months, and if you are one of those, thank you. Welcome. If you are new here and you hit subscribe, let me know where you found me. If you just found me by just through YouTube suggestions, or if somebody recommended me, let me know, because if it was from another floss tuber, I want to thank them. I want to you know let them know that I appreciate that. If you are returning, you'll see that this is a completely different setup than any other video that I've done. I'm trying to do this. Today is Saturday, March 1st. This will be my recap of February stitching. We're going to completely forget that January ever happened because I recorded an entire floss tube for the end of January. And I can't get it to upload or do anything. So my laptop died. I'm now using a MacBook. That's a huge learning curve for me. So I am recording this on the MacBook. I'm hoping everything will go well. I'm going to try to edit and add in before pictures and things like that. If there are none put in, that's why. But I'm recording a little bit later in the day, so there are more people up. So I am upstairs in my bedroom, in the master bedroom, and everyone else is either at work or downstairs watching TV or hanging out with the dogs. So this might be the quietest place that I could find. So I'm here. I've got a little bit of natural light coming in from this side, and then overhead light up here, which I tried to maneuver so it was not shining at you, but giving me some decent light. This room is a work in progress, as you can see. I'm still getting used to the camera. It's backwards for me. There's a mirror back here that's supposed to be on a wall. Maybe one day it will be on a wall. We'll see. But if you're not here for my, decorating, you're here for my cross stitch. So let's get started. This is Flosstube 93, y'all. I've been doing floss tubes for 4, 5, 6 since 2019. So wow, it'll be 6 years in August, and I'm only at 93 because I've been so sporadic. I really am hoping to get a little bit more regular with filming these. And looking at the pile of projects that I'm going to share with you today, I'm hoping that maybe I can start doing every other week because this is a lot. But this is Flosstube 93, and this is basically a recap of February. Like I said, I'm just going to forget that January ever happened because after I filmed it and tried to upload it, I had put everything away while I was trying to figure out how to get it all uploaded. I didn't want to pull it all out, so we're just gonna bypass January. I will, if I'm able to edit in before pictures, they will be from the whip parade that I did at the end of December. So you'll see the progress that I've made in 2 months for some of these projects. So let's get started. I have a couple new starts because this is the year of new starts. I am doing 25 new starts in 2025. I have my whip go board is 24 new starts. I am using that free space in the middle because my 25th new start will be my birthday start. And since I can't guarantee that Jessie Marie, if you are unfamiliar with Whip Go, that is it's a game that Jessie Marie at Jessie Marie Does Stuff came up with to kind of just, give some inspiration to working on projects. It's like a bingo board, and she calls 2 numbers each month, unless she calls 13, which is the center square, usually a free space. If she calls that, then there'll be 3 numbers called that month. I use that for my free space. My 25th new start will be my birthday start because Jessie Marie probably won't call it in August. So that wouldn't be the month that 13 would be called. So That's my plan. So I do have 2 new starts from February. I had 2 new starts in January. Eventually they'll roll around again and I'll share those. I've got several whips to show. I've got a couple floss tubers I want to call out and recognize, and then some stats just because I like that kind of thing. I love when other floss tubers share their stats. I know it's not everybody's thing, and I know not everybody counts stitches. I do. I have a counter app on my phone, and for those things that are paper projects or paper patterns, I do count. I highlight and count and keep it in an app. And then obviously for anything that's on Pattern Keeper, it's really easy to keep the numbers. If I look, I don't know why, but this is really showing I have scoliosis, and so one shoulder is higher than the other, and I'm not adjusted to the camera yet, so I can't adjust myself to make it look like I'm even. I'm not. I'm just not even, and that's okay. And if you are returning, you may have noticed I got a haircut. I got some highlights, got some nice little blonde in here. It was gray. Yes, some of these streaks were gray. They are now blonde. So I've got a new do. This is New Me 2025. I'm hoping to see lots of new me. I'm going to try and start working out, so maybe there'll be less of me at the end of 2025. If you want to join me on that journey, comment below and maybe we can keep each other accountable. I need an accountability partner. This working out thing is hard. To start off with, I'm struggling to find the motivation when I'm working all day and then coming home. And so if you want to help hold me accountable to working out, please comment below. I would love it. But let's start with cross stitch. So 2 new starts. My first new start for February was Happy Snowmen by Durene Jones. And I am doing, I've called him Happy Snowman number 4 because I'm doing this one right here because I started 1, 2, 3, 4. I told you I'm not used to this camera. So I am working on this guy right here. I am doing this on just a little remnant of fabric that I found in my stash. And I am using the called for. Okay, apparently that is, I have 2 remnants in here because I'm going to do all 4 and they wouldn't all fit on one. So that was not the right one. This is. And here's my start. Like I said, I'm struggling with this. This is my DMC thread needle minder. And there's my start. This is a full coverage little circle. I don't think this is definitely linen and not even weave because it is not looking very circularly. It's looking kind of oval. There we go. I'm hoping when I get the whole thing, it will look more of a circle. I told you I'm struggling with figuring out which side is up. So please be patient with me. I will get this, I promise. But that's where I've gotten with the new start, and that's not bad. I've done 431 stitches to get this started. My goal is to get 500 stitches on a new start. This one just didn't happen, but I think some of these little ones that I'm starting, they will become travel projects. This one's easy travel project. It's very small. It's 43 by 44. So easy to throw in a bag and take to my daughter's soccer games. This is housed in a colorful Amazon bag with my favorite color, purple. I have 2 favorite colors, purple and teal, and so this one is purple. I'm trying to keep everything organized because, like I said, this is my bedroom, and I did shut the door, so the dogs are probably not going to come in, but I can't guarantee that, so I just don't want them coming in and jumping on the bed and landing on a cross stitch because that would not be good. Second new start is housed in this Barefoot Needle Art Americana butterfly bag with these cute little star fabric on the inside. And it is USA Tier by Erin Elizabeth Designs. I absolutely love her little tears, and I love patriotic pieces, so had to get that one. And I was very excited when I made the decision. I called an audible. This was not on my Whipco board, but the piece that was on my Whipco board, I obviously did not kit it well. I didn't kit it at all. I pulled out fabric, didn't look at what I needed for flosses. And it needed Glorianas and Belsoise, and it's just a little bit outside of my budget right now to buy some silks. So that might be a 2026 start instead. And I saw it was a patriotic piece as well, so I swapped in this one. This is being stitched on a 32 count color and cotton. The colorway is Old West. Here it is. I've done the whole top tier. Y'all, I'm sorry, going the wrong way. There we go. So I've done the U, the flag, and the little house. And this is my little Mandalorian needle minder. That came from a grab bag from Vicky at Stitch and Button. She had a grab bag sale, and I chose Disney, and that was one of the ones in the Disney grab bag. My one of my girls is a big Star Wars fan, and so she came downstairs the other day when I was stitching on this, and she said, "Oh, Mom, I love your Mandalorian needle minder." I was like, "Thank you," because when it first came, I didn't know who that was. I knew it was somebody Star Wars, didn't know who it was. I had to figure out that it was the Mandalorian, so at least she knew who it was. But this, I got 540 stitches on this, which was a really good first start. All right, so those are my two new starts. Now let's look at my whips. Whips, if you are new to the cross stitch world or the Flosstube world, are works in progress. WIP, whip. The first one is Christmas 2. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. This is I do have the paper pattern for this. If I am able to figure out how to edit, at some point in these, I will put what it looked like before. Where it's logical. But I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's going to end up in there. So if it does, great, you'll see it. If it doesn't, I'll try and figure it out before the next time. I'm stitching this 2/1 tent on 25 count easy grid. And I got 1,130 tent stitches put into this. So here, would help if I turned it the right direction. Here's where it is in all of its glory. And I worked on this page right here. So, and my husband was outside with the dogs. He is now inside, and it sounds like he's on the phone. So if you hear voices in the background, I am sorry. This is why I usually do this at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, when when the two younger girls are at work, because they're early birds, and the rest of my husband and my older daughter, they're asleep. The needle minder here is a little nutcracker, so it kind of goes with the nutcracker theme of the piece, and it is from Frosted Pumpkin, from their nutcracker sale that they had a few years ago. This is housed in an Amazon bag with a little corgi pup cake. This is my full coverage focus. It was last year. It is again this year, so that eventually I can get it done. So I work on it every month. Some pieces I don't work on. They don't see work every month. This next one is one of those. This is Cardinal in the Snow. It is from X Squared Cross Stitch, which is on Etsy, but does not have this pattern in her shop anymore. This was a gift from one of my daughters several Mother's Days ago. As you could see, let me show it again, there is a lot of background. And I start in the top left corner. I'm a top left starter. And I go across. Well, as you can see on the other, I started with diagonal pages, and then I'm going all the way across. Going all the way across on this one. I'm only in background, so it's a little boring and it's hard for me to want to work on. I'm stitching this on 28 count easy grid 1/1, and I got 555 stitches in the month of February, which is not terrible. I finished a page. Here's my needle minder. It is a little hedgehog. But I did get a page finish. I'm trying to do this so it's not quite as unwieldy, because I tend to, when I do full coverage, I have huge pieces, and so I need bed sheet size fabric. So I finished this page right here, and then moved over and started on the next page. I do feather into the next page on these so that I don't end up with page lines. But 555 stitches wasn't bad, but it's just background. I cannot wait to get to that cardinal. Those reds are gorgeous, and I want to see them. So I don't know. I may start jumping around. I'm afraid if I do that, though, I'm going to get messed up, and then my cardinal's not going to be in the right place. And so I don't know. This is also housed in an Amazon bag. I try to put my full coverages in Amazon bags because all I'm keeping in them, for at least for these two, are the fabric and the paper pattern. For my others, it's just the fabric. So the next one is 3 Dolphins, and the artwork is by Carol Cavalaris? Yes. And I'm going to try and pull up a picture on my phone because I do not have a printed cover picture. Thank you for being patient with me. I should have been better prepared. But this is what it's going to look like eventually. I am stitching this 1/1 on 28 count easy grid, and I got 389 stitches done. This was a January whip go goal that I haven't met yet. I did some work in January. I've done some work in February, and I'm still not close to 10% finished. Why I set that as a goal, I do not know. I think I'm at maybe 7.5. So this is going to be a goal that might take me most of this year. But I finished this page down here, and then I moved up to here. This little needle minder says, "It is well with my soul." And I finished that much of this page. This one I am doing diagonal pages because I do want to. You can see I've got to start to a dinosaur. Oh my, to a dolphin, and then down here, a fin for a dolphin. So I'm excited to get into the dolphins. This I do have on Pattern Keeper, so it does make it a little bit easier for me to kind of jump around if I choose. The paper patterns, they're a little bit more difficult to do that with. The next one, that's all my full covers that I worked on in February. Just those 3. I do have a couple other full coverages. Didn't work on those. This next one is housed in a Barefoot Needle Art Sunshine bag. This is Pretty Little Washington, D.C. by Satsuma Street. This, I got 383 stitches done in February. It was also a whip go goal for January, so I got 500 stitches done in January. So it's had quite a bit of work done on it since the last time I shared it with y'all. This is my Peppermint Patty. Oop, wrong way. Peppermint Patty needle minder. Lord have mercy. Okay, there we go. My Peppermint Patty needle minder. I got at Fire Puppies before they went out of business in Charleston. And I did all my work in January and February has been on the Capitol building. So at least 800 something stitches on the Capitol. And it's almost done. I've decided I was kind of just jumping around and filling in colors. And then at the beginning, did some trees. And then I did the Washington Monument and the trees around. And then I decided and then the bridge at the bottom. Then I decided I'm going to do one building at a time. So my focus is going to be to finish that Capitol building because I think that's the biggest building in the piece. So once I get that done, I'll feel like I've made a good accomplishment. That one, and I think there's one other building that's got a lot of stitches in it. This next one is in a bag that was made by my friend Carrie at the Patient Stitcher. It's got the shamrocks on the back and the plaid on the inside. This is Petite Rainbow Row. Rainbows, leprechauns, shamrocks. It all makes sense to me. This is one of my favorite streets in Charleston. If you are new here, I live in South Carolina, in the PD region, which is why I'm PD Stitcher, which is up near Myrtle Beach. But I absolutely love Charleston. I did a summer of Charleston architecture classes when I was in high school and got to go visit a lot of the really, really interesting buildings in Charleston. So this, when it says Petite Rainbow Row, it is small. The pattern is from CW Designs, and I'm stitching this on 32 count XJude baby sheep. This is another one of the needle minders that came from the Disney grab bag with the villains. And this is the piece. Let me put something behind it because there's a good bit of light in here today. I actually kind of think I like this if I can just figure out how to figure out the camera. It's not the setup, it's me. But the lighting in here is pretty good, so we may see some more floss tubes being filmed in here. That is not straight. There we go. And no, I haven't ironed anything. I don't until they're done. But I've gotten 3 and most of house number 4 done. I did 293 stitches in February on this. My goal this year is to get 2,500 stitches on all of my returning works in progress and 500 stitches this year on all of my new starts. And then if I finish all of those goals, then I will go back, obviously, and put more stitches into some of those projects. Some of them will get a lot more. Christmas 2 will get a lot more because my goal in that is 1,000 tent stitches every month at least. And then Rosetta, which I'll show y'all in a little bit, that's my other focus project. That one I'm hoping to finish by getting at least 1,000 in it every month, and I should finish it by July or August. The next one is Giggles in the Snow. This is by Mirabilia. This is housed in another barefoot needle art. For those of you who are not aware, barefoot needle art is a local needle workshop in South Carolina at the beach in Myrtle Beach area. It's also got an online shop. I've not actually been. to the actual store. I do all my shopping online because time. It takes me an hour and a half to get to the beach, which is not that much, but I just don't have the time to do it. But look at this cute little penguins. Are they not adorable? But this is from Mirabilia. And right now I am focusing on the girl. Y'all ignore my nails. I need to redo them. I work in athletics. I don't do a lot like on the field and stuff, but I'm typing all the time, and I don't, because I do a lot of the paperwork stuff, and I don't know what it is when I'm typing. I tear up my nails. I shouldn't. It's not that hard a job, but I tear up my nails. So I claim my nails get torn up because I work in athletics, but I don't actually do the athletic-y parts. I just do the paperwork part. So, but my nails still get torn up. Okay, this is being stitched on 32 count white opalescent. And this has another one of the Peanuts needle minders from Fire Puppies when they were in business. This is Linus. If you're new, I'm a huge Peanuts fan. Peanuts and Disney are my favorite. And this is what I've gotten done so far. I've gotten Snow. I've done her whole face in 1/1. That's the first time I've ever done 1/1 for her face, for skin. So I think it's turned out pretty good. It'll look much better when I get the back stitch in. Most of her scarf is done. I've started going down. I try to pick a color and then do until I run out of floss, because I don't like to have to wrap it around the bobbin again. So if it's close enough where I can count, that's the key, where I can count to, then I'll like here, I did some green, did that, cut it off, and then I could count and started it back down here again, so I didn't have to wrap it back around my bobbin. I just finished it off. But this got 300, no, that is not right, 504 stitches. I knew I'd done a lot because this was, I want to say this was a my February Whip Go. I have two Whip Go boards. I have the New Starts Whip Go board, and then I have my Whip Go board. And I think this was my one of my February calls. I don't remember, and I'm sorry. And I would look it up, but that information is on the MacBook that I'm currently recording on, and I'm not good enough with technology to do it and make sure that I'm still recording and don't cut myself off. So there's that. This next one is the Fox from Cottage Garden Samplings. I'm sorry, I should have taken it out of the plastic, but I think you can kind of see it without too much glare. I'm stitching this on 32 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. And this is housed in a bag that I don't remember who made it for me. And I feel really, really bad about that because it was very kind of them. But I don't remember because it's been a while. But they did a beautiful job quilting the back. Look at all of that detail. And then the front is absolutely adorable. It's so cute. And I wish I could remember. If it's you, please tell me because I'm sorry. I used to keep everything written down on the old computer. And when it died, it died. And I can't get anything off of it, including several PDF patterns that I haven't started. So I'm hoping at some point I can maybe take it to the Geek Squad or something, and they can take the stuff off of that laptop and put it on some sort of external hard drive, because I hate that I've lost all of that. So, but that's okay. I'll live. It's just money, which I don't have enough of, so I can't just be throwing money away. This is another little DMC needle minder. It's a DMC cupcake. And here's where I am. I have started at the top and I'm working my way down. So I've got the little cabin, I've got his head, a good bit of his tail, and then started down his chest. And I've got all the trees and snowflakes at the top. This is not a huge piece. I should be able to finish this. Keyword is should, because I have to actually work on it. But this month I did work on it and I got 324 stitches in it. So, that progress is progress, right? Any stitches are better than no stitches. So if I get 2,500 stitches on this year, that'll get me closer to a finish. I know I'm starting 25 projects this year. I know I'm not going to finish 25 projects this year. I'd like to finish several. If I could finish more than I did last year, which I think was 6 or 7, it's a plus. More than last year is a plus. This next one is Rosetta, and like I said earlier, this is my focus piece for the year because I want to get this one finished. This is housed in a So Much to Love Mickey Mouse bag, and the inside is the yellow plaid. I do not have a cover photo, a printed one, so let me see if I can. And this is not at all what it's going to look like when I'm done because I have changed the colors. So each of these medallions are going to be a different color, and all of the outline, all of the border is being done in Week Style Works Kohl. This is being stitched, and if I didn't say this is by Ink Circles. This is being stitched on 40 count Grace Notes Sparkling Grape, and I love their fabric. Absolutely love their fabric. I have a lot of pieces on their fabric. I just didn't work on them this month. And needle minder is with this sideways butterfly. Oh, there we go. My needle likes to jump behind it and go in between the butterfly and the fabric. And here's where it is. Y'all, is this not? I love this. This is probably my most favorite piece ever to stitch on. I am working on, like I said, I'm trying to do 1,000 stitches a month. So in January, I finished this medallion right here and the border around it. And then I moved down here and I've started working this border and then across the bottom and then down here so that I can kind of frame this one in. I need to do the detail work in here. And then I started this, and this is, I know this medallion I am doing in Week Style Works Lucky. The rest of them, I will put what the rest of the colors are in the description box below. And my last whip, I told you I worked on a lot in the month. My last whip to share is in this Garon Totten bags. I like the peacocky colors, but these are moths. I think moths, maybe butterflies, but I think they're moths because of the eye in them. I could be wrong. But this is Have Faith, which is one of the Songbird series, and I'm stitching this with Carrie, the patient stitcher. She has gotten a lot more done than I have, but I'm working on it. So this is a Blue Jay and Bellflower, and this Have Faith. I love the Songbirds. I want to do the whole series eventually. I've done one. I did the Wisdom one. Now I'm working on Faith. At the rate I'm going, I'm doing one every 2 years, so it'll take me a while to do 12. But that's okay. I've got time. I'm stitching this on 40 count pewter. This is a Charlie Brown and Snoopy needle minder from Vicky at Stitch and Button. And he is sideways. So let's see if I can fix him to where he is the right direction to go with. I started with the house, then I moved down. I started in the middle. I said earlier I'm a top left starter. This one I started in the middle because my piece of fabric is not very big. It is pretty much the size I need. So I needed to make sure I had enough space. So I started in the middle, so I did the house. Then I did the leaves. This was my travel project during my daughter's soccer in the fall. I had some little personalizations in the leaves where I miscounted during a soccer game because it's during a soccer game. My focus wasn't always on my stitching. So some of these are going to be a little different from what the pattern says, but that's okay. They still look like leaves. And then I started down here because I was tired of green. So I started down here to do this little bottom border with the blue and white. I got 508 stitches in this in February. Again, I should be able to get better progress on this. Cottage Garden samplings, I will say, their pieces are like medium size. However, they're dense stitching. There's a lot of stitching in these. So, Hannah at Hannah Dowling, she was able to like knock these pieces, the fox and that series. I can't remember what that series was called, but it was all wild animals. She was able to knock those out like once a month. Kept up. Did great. She is so much better at that than I am. I can't. She can knock out a medium piece in like 2 weeks. Me, 2 years. That sounds right. All right, so that's all of my stuff, my stitching. So stats for those of you who are interested in that kind of thing. I had 2 new starts, which I showed you. I had 9 works in progress. I did a total of, and this was big for me, 6,072 stitches. That is a lot for me. I know there are people out there that can do 1,000 in a day. I can't. I work and have a lot of other things going on the days that I'm not working. But 6,000 plus is huge for me. So I was very excited about that. I had 4 days in February that I did not stitch at all. Yesterday and the day before were 2 of those. I was dead dog tired. I worked extra this past week. I worked my normal days in the office, and then we had baseball and softball evaluations in the evenings. So I was at those in the evenings, checking in athletes and collecting birth certificates and all of the things that go along with my in the office job. So there were days that I did 9.5 hour days. So I was dead dog tired by the end of the week, and I just kind of sat there yesterday and stared at my phone last night instead of stitching. I thought about stitching. I just didn't have it in me. I knew if I did, I was going to have to frog it all out because I was not going to be able to focus. So, but that's okay. I have a couple of Flosstubers that I want to shout out. The first is Amy at Renewing Stitches. She shares the most amazing vintage cross stitch patterns. She has several vintage cross stitch books and magazines that she shares. And for me, they're just nostalgia because I remember learning to stitch, starting stitching and stitching from the books in the 80s and 90s. And I loved those. I still love those. I have several of those. I need to stitch some out of them because I have a whole stack, like a stack this tall of just vintage books as well. That I need to get my inspiration from her and actually work from those books. She does some really, really great vintage pieces. And then Elle from Keystone Stitcher. If you like full coverage, you need to watch Elle. She has some amazing full coverage pieces. She's got one that she and my friend Carrie at the Patient Stitcher, they're both doing it, and it is Eyes of the Forest. I think that's the name of it. But it is this just fabulous owl with the most intense eyes. Ella's doing hers in the Call for Blues. Blues, yes. And Carrie is modifying hers to be yellow eyes. Both of them look amazing. You need to go check them out. If you are not following both of them, you need to, even if it's just for that piece, because that piece is gorgeous. And I want to leave y'all. I used to, a couple years ago, leave y'all with a quote, and then I stopped doing it because I don't know why. But I want to start doing that again because I need some motivation in my life. I need some inspiration in my life, and I want to share that with y'all. So this is the first one for 2025. And it's from Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way." I can't do big things. I'm just one person, but I can do little things in a big way, and those will add up to big things. And if we all do little things in a big way, then we'll all together do big things. So, y'all, I have really enjoyed being back with y'all. I'm hoping that this will become a more common occurrence, that maybe every couple of weeks instead of once a month. If I can figure out the editing on this, if it's easy. And the recording wasn't bad on this new MacBook. Just trying to figure out the camera because it is backwards from what I was used to. So I will get better at that, I promise. Y'all, I've enjoyed staying here with y'all and sharing stuff. And comment below. I want to get to know you. I enjoy my friendships that I've made with other cross stitchers. So y'all stay happy, stay healthy, keep stitching. Bye.